Al-Jazari was an Arab Muslim scholar who lived during the Islamic Golden Age. He was born in 1136 CE in the city of Jazari ibn Umar, which is what gives him the title of Al-Jazari. He was a man of many talents. Other than being a renowned scholar, he was also a skilled inventor, artist, craftsman, and engineer. We don't know much about his life other than the details he provides in his own books. He followed in the footsteps of his father and held the post of chief engineer at the king's palace. Al-Jazari was an artisan and was predominantly interested in the functional aspect of things, which makes him more of an engineer than an inventor. He was a brilliant mechanical engineer and built dozens of ingenious constructions. He designed more than 50 different types of devices, including clocks, fountains, hand-washing devices, musical devices, machines for raising water, and etc. His most famous book, titled The Book of Knowledge of Ingenious Mechanical Devices, was written in 1206 and presented to the Sultan as a gift. In it, he designed and described over 100 mechanical devices, of which a great many were meant for entertainment value rather than to serve any practical purpose. For instance, he designed trick vessels which appeared to have water in them, but when someone tried to drink out of them, they were empty. One of the famous valuable things that he created was a water system for supplying water to various parts of the city. It was operated by hydropower by taking water from the lake and turning a scoop wheel with a system of gears to transport water up to the water channel and into mosques and hospitals.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so I will be explaining of Al-Jazari invention throughout his books, the compilation of his inventions. Okay, first one is about his books. Alongside his accomplishments as an inventor and engineer, Al-Jazari was also an accomplished artist. Okay, in the book of, let me show you the book. This is the cover page of the book, known as the Book of Knowledge of Ingenious Mechanical Devices. Okay, in this book, he gave instructions on his inventions and illustrated them by using miniature paintings, medieval style of Islamic art. Okay, this is the example of miniature paintings. He painted through on how we should explain the devices he made. Okay, for the first one I'll be explaining is Al-Jazari candle clock. Okay, as you can see, this is the candle clock. Okay, the candle clock is the rate of burning was known to bore against the underside of the cap, and its wick passed through the hole. And then wax collected in Indonesia here and could be removed periodically, so that it did not interfere with steady burning. Okay, so this is the bottom of the candle rested in a shallow dish that had a ring on its side, so that connected through pulleys through a counterweight. Okay, so that's all about candle clock. Okay, and then the second one is the hand washing automation with a flush mechanism. Okay, Al-Jazari invented a hand washing automation incorporating a flush mechanism that today used as a flush toilet. It features a female in this here, a female humanoid automation standing by a basin filled with water. And then when the user pulls the lever, the water drains and the female automation refills the basin here.
Shape molds have been used for casting metal items from the earliest time. Stone, clay, and even metal have all been used to make molds, and these are often preserved in the archaeological record. The simplest form of sand mold can be made by impressing moist sand with a model of the object to be cast. This model is commonly known as a pattern. Pattern can be of any resilient, easily shaped material such as wood. Metal item itself can be used as a pattern to cast copies. Sand preparation is important, and different workshops have their own preferences, in particular for the binding media added to the sand. The famous inventor for sand casting was Al-Jazari. Al-Jazari describes cutting wooden patterns to make impression in the sand as the founders do in the foundry, is an indication that sand casting was being more generally used in the local foundry. Al-Jazari also describes an ingenious variation to the technique nails were partly embedded in the sand mold before pouring in molten brass around the heads of the nails, producing plugs equipped with fixings ready to hammer into the wooden door. One of the closest example is the doors of the mosque of Tigris in southeastern Turkey.
Al-Jazari was considered as the father of modern engineering because of his invention of an early programmable humanoid robot. He has been well known as the father of robotics. Al-Jazari had done many contributions in robotics sector. First, his contribution is that he had completed a book of engineering in Arabic entitled as the Book of Knowledge of Engineers Mechanical Devices. This comprehensive ontology of theoretical and practical mechanics describes various devices with many detailed illustrations, providing an invaluable contribution in the history of engineering and robotics. In this book, Al-Jazari described 50 mechanical devices including different types of clocks, hand washing device that is wudu machine and also washing for resin water. Furthermore, Al-Jazari's significant invention of the crankshaft is considered the most important single mechanical invention after the wheel. Al-Jazari had built several types of robots like automatic moving peacock driven by the hydropower, different types of automatic clocks, and the earliest humanoid robot. The Al-Jazari humanoid robot was a waitress that could serve water, tea, or drink. He also invented a hand-washing automation incorporating a flush mechanism which is used in the modern flush toilet. It presents a female humanoid automation standing by a basin that filled with water. Then, when the user pulls the lever, the water drains and the female automation refills the basin again. Al-Jazari also created a musical robot band, which was a boat with 4 automatic musicians that floated on a lake of entertain guests or royal parties. The invention of Al-Jazari is that the elephant clock was the first clock in which an automation reacted after a certain interval of time. Al-Jazari also made a robotic man for the Sultan. This robot, modeled on a 12-year-old boy, provided water, a towel and a comb for the Sultan during his ablution. As the conclusion, Al-Jazari had made many contributions in the robotics sector and also had made the technology of making modern-day robotics were influences by the idea of Al-Jazari.
Hi, Assalamualaikum, Tara. So this is another Al-Jazari invention, the elephant clock. So this elephant clock actually was the only one of many ingenious devices designed by Al-Jazari. It was quite different from our modern clock. Each of the physical details of this clock represent different cultures. The elephant is an elephant, which which represent India, and dragon-like serpent represent China. The phoenix at the top and the devil figure represent the Muslim culture. The elephant claw also have other specialty, which the mechanism of the claw driven by stone in water tank hidden in the belly of the elephant.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Azim, water fountain. Okay, as you can see, the water flows from downward to upwards. There is cylinder vessels which enable the water flows upwards. So, based on the discovery and the innovation of water clock machine, you can see that here. There is water regulator there, which control the water flow to be strong or to be weak. And there is return mechanism where the water will be sucked in back into the pump and continuously release the water flow. So where one of it is the water function, the water pump in aquariums and so that's it. Thank you.
Hi, hello, my name is Ida Azman. So today I will talk and share about the Al-Jazari. As we know that in the Abbasid Caliphate, there were many scholars that inventing some things that we use until nowadays. So their invention is, we can say that as pioneer for us in invent a new technology that we guide based on their works. So one of the scholars that I want to share with you today is Al-Jazari. Al-Jazari was known as the father of engineering in the Islamic history. But not only the Islamic history, his works and invention also has influenced strongly in all the world, in the West and the East. So one of his books that very prominent was the Book of Knowledge and Ingenious Mechanical Devices. Next, the other books was a compendium on the theory of practice of the mechanical arts and others. But this was the two most prominent works. And today I would like to share with you guys the works or invention that we use until nowadays every day in our daily life. What is this? The thing is flush toilet. Right. Even though during the time of Al-Jazari, there was no flush toilet like what we use nowadays, but there was the major concept or the main concept that was introduced by Al-Jazari that we use until nowadays. So what is the concept? The main concept is the use of the wash basin by the Al-Jazari. He was invented the wash basin that was used to make ablution for prayer, and also was used by all the common people in their time. So we can now go to the flush toilets, and I will explain what is the principles and the concept that was introduced by Al-Jazari. Come, let's go. Alright, okay, so based on this flush toilet technology, this is the lever. When we push the lever, the water will be pushed out, and automatically when the water is full, the lever will come back to its original position, and the water from the main sources will come out and refill all the water for the next use of this flush toilet. So this engineer and technology was introduced by the Al-Jazari, and this is what we use until nowadays. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rivaldi Sanika Putro. Okay, as we know that Al-Jazari had contributed a lot of things in the world of machinery. One of them is that water cooler. So if you guys have a dispenser in your homes, it is actually adapted from the concept of the water cooler that is invented by Jazari. So the question is, how does it work? Want to know it? Let's come with me. Hi, back again with me. Okay, here is the water cooler. Actually, inside this water cooler, there is a valve that prevents the water from the bottle flooding the water cooler. So the water in this water cooler is fed into reservoir where it is cooled using a refrigerant. A refrigerant is a cooling medium that is circulating in the pipes that are located close to reservoir in the water cooler. So the refrigerant changes a liquid to a gas as it moves in the pipes towards the reservoir because of the pressure in the pipes that is created by a compressor in the water cooler. So the cool gas in the water pipe is forced through a valve to make it even colder. So when the refrigerant is in a gas form and it is circulating in the pipes, it has the ability to absorb away the heat from the mineral water in the reservoir, leaving cool and refreshing water that is readily available. So the heat in the refrigerant is then expelled from the water cooler. So as the people are dispensing the water, the machine will refill the reservoir and process will start again. So the water reservoir empty completely during dispensing. It will take a few minutes before the water cooler switches the water to a low temperature. So it is how it works. Thank you.
In conclusion, Al-Jazari had invented different types of devices that can still be used until today, such as sand casting, flush toilet, lamination, water fountain, clock, and many more.